Welcome, this is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps, and today I have a battle report. I know what you're thinking. Nick, you're by yourself, how are you going to do a battle report? We are actually going to do Skype Hammer, or Net Hammer, or Zoom Hammer, or Google Hangout Hammer, whatever you guys use. That's what we're doing today. Noah and I had a practice game the last couple nights, and it kind of works. You know, I have to kind of move everything and have him tell me via Skype or Zoom where to move his units, but he's rolling all the dice. He knows all his stratagems. He has all his, stats memorized. So today we have a pretty awesome battle report for you. Because it is almost impossible to film while doing the Zoom. It's going to be more of a turn-by-turn recap. Show you some of the best moments and where the armies are at and what we're thinking going forward from between each turn. It's pretty wild today. Today, Noah wants to use the Studio Army, the Falcons of Terra, as Iron Hands today. So today he's rocking a brigade of Iron Hands. It's unbelievable. As I was setting it out, I just could not believe it was only 2,000 points. There's so many Primaris. It's a Primaris brigade of Iron Hands. So this could be really, really hard to chew through. That being said, today is the first day where all my hard work over this coronavirus quarantine comes to fruition. I have been painting nonstop. Our World Eaters army, the Gorehounds, are finally on the table, fully painted and based. So it is a World Eaters Berserker heavy list. It is a battalion, a Supreme Command attachment, and a fortification network, because I am using the actual Noctilith Crown terrain piece. I need that 5-up invulnerable save for my tank, for my super tank. We are doing the 4 pillars. It's an Eternal War mission. 4 pillars is basically 4 equally placed objectives on the table. If you hold more than your opponent, kind of like ITC, you get a point. If you hold if you hold all of them, you get 3 points. There's also First Strike, Slay the Warlord, Line Breaker, all that normal stuff. But then to throw the game on its head, it's also kill points, old school kill points. So when you look at these armies, you might think these Iron Hands are just going to wipe the field with my Berserker army. And they might, to be honest. Chaos Space Marines are pretty far behind Primaris Marines these days. But his brigade is so MSU, which means multiple small units. There's so many units that I have the ability to score a lot more kill points than he does. So that might help balance the battle a little bit. So I think this will actually be pretty fun, pretty exciting. Khorne has some heavy hitters. I've got a Lord Discordant that can move like 30 inches with the bonuses I give him, which is so awesome. Can't wait. I have my new Cat Demon Prince from the AOS model that I just loved painting. So fun. And I just think Malefic Talons, he's going to tear stuff up with 10 attacks. So we'll see how that goes. So we will be back with relics, warlord traits, and exactly what each army has right now. Thank you. Okay, so for the Gorehounds, the first thing that I will show you is the Supreme Command attachment. And with the Supreme Command attachment, we have a Lord Discordant. He is the Warlord. His Warlord trait and relics are pretty amazing together. So basically, he has the Talisman of Burning Blood, which lets him advance and charge and give reroll charges to himself. So he's very, very fast just from that. And then he has a 6-inch bubble called Violent Urgency, which is a World Eaters relic. And I might be getting this mixed up. It might be a World Eaters Warlord trait and Talisman of Burning Blood as the relic. That sounds more likely. So what that does, it's a 6-inch bubble of +1 to your advance and +1 to charge. So if you think about it, he has a 12-inch movement and can advance and charge, adds 1 to the advance, adds 1 to the charge, and can reroll charges. So he's averaging like 24 inches, but he can get up to like 32 inches. So he is fast, really fast, and he wants to fight. Second in the Supreme Command attachment is a Demon Prince on foot, and he just has talons. I wanted it to be as accurate as possible. Mark of Khorne, talons, and World Eaters, excuse me. I think pretty sure that gets him up to 10 attacks. We'll make sure before his first combat, but I think that's 10 attacks, which is awesome. And then the last thing in that Supreme Command attachment, or last character, is an Exalted Champion. Now this is a Mighty Lord of Khorne from AOS, but I think it works great as an Exalted Champion with a Demon Axe. And here at Beer and Bat Reps, we don't care as much about base size as long as we're having fun. So, his Demon Axe, I spent an extra CP there, and I gave him the, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It starts with a U''LO. It's like Alokia, the Black Axe. Basically, every 4-up to wound is a mortal wound in addition to normal damage. So, with his high number of attacks, he's dishing out wounds with a Power Axe type hit and mortal wounds. So he's pretty nasty. And then the last thing on this Supreme Command attachment is a World Eaters Forge World Spartan Assault Tank. WYSIWYG, so got the Havoc Launcher, have 8 las cannons. This baby holds a ton. So, now we get to that. The next thing is the Fortification Network, which is just this terrain piece. And what it does is a 6-inch bubble of 5-up invulnerable save, and that bubble grows every turn. So it keeps me in a nice invulnerable save as long as I stick kind of close to it. Really, in all honesty, because I'm a Berserker army that runs forward, it's probably just protecting me from alpha strikes. Also, inside that bubble, enemy Psychers peril on any double. That won't affect today because there's no Psychers, but still kind of cool. And then the last thing is a battalion. So in the battalion, we have Chaos Lord in Terminator armor with dual lightning claws. He's exactly what you see. He's nice and cheap. He's like 108 points, something like that. He rolls in because of World Eaters with like 8 attacks, rerolling hits and wounds. So he's a blender. He's inside the Spartan. Next thing we have is this converted AOS. In AOS, it's the banner guy, but we took the banner away, put an open book. So he's our second Dark Apostle. And he is giving out the prayer of +1 to hit in the shooting phase so that the Spartan hits on 2s with his 8 las cannons. Basically the only good thing we have in the shooting phase, so we want to make sure that's real powerful. Then we have another Dark Apostle. This model is amazing. We love it. Just replace the helmet with a Khorne Berserker helmet, and he just looks hard rock. He's awesome. His is the Benediction of Darkness, so his prayer is a -1 to hit. So we put that on the Spartan as well. So now it's basically a Land Raider with 20 wounds with a 5-up invulnerable save next to the terrain piece, +1 to hit with its las cannons, and -1 when the opponent targets it. So it's very, very tough. And it needs to be very, very tough because it's holding 2 units of 10 Berserkers. It's also holding the Lord in the Terminator armor and the Exalted Champion. So there's a lot in there. There's 22 models in there. Next thing we have is nice little Chaos Rhino. And that is 10 more Berserkers. So now that's 3 units of 10 Berserkers. And then on foot, running up the field, because there's a cool stratagem where they can go 9 inches before the game starts. We have another 10-pack of Berserkers. So one thing you'll know about this army is, you'll notice, is the Berserkers are actually the AOS Blood Warrior models because I believe that they look 10 times better. They're not 15 years old like the 40k Berserkers. They're big, they're bulky, they're on the correct base size. We load them out with multiple hand weapons instead of a bolt pistol, so this works out fine. And they are coming to fight. With World Eaters, they are troops. So it is in total 4 units of 10 Berserkers with the full banner, and each one has this model that looks like a double-headed axe, and we're using that as a power fist. So each unit has a power fist. So it's pretty elite, pretty hard hitting. It ends up with, let's see, Supreme Command Attachment Battalion ends up with 9 CP, and we spend 1 before the game starts on this Demon Axe, just because it's cool. And we end up with 8 CP to start the game, and we'll be back with the Iron Hands Brigade. So what doesn't this Iron Hand Brigade have? Okay, so in all honesty, so to have a brigade, we know you have to have 3 characters. So we have a Gravis captain, and I know Noah will most likely spend the 2 CP to make him a chapter master. I'm trying to convince him to give the warlord trait and relic that would give him a 5-up feel no pain, +1 toughness, and -1 damage coming in, which would make him just the smashiest warlord ever. So that's him. Then we have a lieutenant with power sword and a primaris captain with the assault mastercrafted assault bolt rifle. So there's the 3 characters. Then you have to have 6 troops, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of 5 intercessors. So 6 units of intercessors. That's going to be really hard to get off objectives and chew through. Next, you have to have 3 fast attack. So he has 1, 2, 3 units of inceptors with the bolter pistols, the heavy bolter pistols. 3 units of those. Then 3 elite. He has 1 ancient, which I assume he'll spend a CP on to make it the 9-inch bubble instead of the 6-inch. And then he has a unit of 3 aggressors and a full pack of 10 reavers with the grapnel launchers, so they can come on a board edge and ignore height for terrain. And then you have to have 3 heavy support, and he has 1, 2, 3 units of 5 Hellblasters. And that gives him a brigade, so 15 command points. So he'll have a lot to play with. It's got a lot of units. It's got actually a lot of teeth between the Hellblasters and all the Inceptors. It's got a sneaky unit, the 10 Reavers, to come on a board edge and grab an objective. And they actually want to fight, so the Berserkers might have a good scrum with some Reavers. It's got one other punchy unit, and that's the Power Fist armed aggressors. It's very flexible. There's a lot going on in this list. They'll all have a 6-up feel no pain because of Iron Hands. They'll all overwatch on a 5-up because of Iron Hands, which is very, very nasty. It's not the classic Iron Hands list of lots of vehicles. Instead, he's going to try to get the most out of that 6-up feel no pain, have lots and lots of bodies, lots and lots of nasty overwatch. So, that being said, we will roll up, get all our armies deployed, and show you what the battlefield looks like right before the seize roll. Okay, so at the end of turn 1, here's basically how it happened. The World Eaters were they won the roll off to be the either attacker or defender, and I chose attacker. Clearly, I'm World Eaters. So then Noah chose his side, which was over there with the Iron Hands. So we pushed up the board. These Berserkers used a World Eater stratagem to get a free 9-inch move before the game started, which got them to this wall, and then they moved in advance to right here. The Rhino moved onto this objective with 10 guys inside. Both the litanies from my Dark Apostles went off, so the Spartan became -1 to hit, and it got 2s to hit with its 8 las cannons. And everyone's just kind of following the Spartan, which has 22 models inside of it as well. These guys are hiding behind this line of sight blocker wall. We count bottom floor windows as line of sight blocker. So, all that happened in my turn basically was he shot his entire tank, or I shot my entire tank at a unit of 5 Hellblasters way back there. He popped multiple stratagems that are defensive stratagems. So he had, well, what's that one, Noah? The only wounded on a 4-up.
Oh yeah, transhuman physiology.
Yeah. Here's Noah, everybody, with our weird COVID-19 style of playing Warhammer. So they did transhuman physiology, and then a special Iron Hands one that makes their 6-up feel no pain a 5-up feel no pain. So when the smoke cleared, even though I shot a 500-point tank at them, only 4 died. And I got on 2 objectives, which was nice, but I failed to get first strike or a kill point, because this mission also does kill points. On his turn, he backed up with most of his units, but then went forward with his aggressors because they're aggressive. Were you planning on charging them? Yeah, so we'll do that charge here in a minute. He then unloaded with all the guns on this side of the board. The Hellblasters, first off, killed the Rhino, even though it popped smoke, so pretty nasty. And then when the 10-pack got out, everyone else shot at them that could see them and killed 6 of the 10. I needed to hold this objective to hold more than him to get the victory point, so I had to spend 2 command points in the morale phase to make sure they didn't run. So that's also good for Noah. He then shot everything over here into the Spartan and did 2 wounds. So not the bloodiest turn. He did kill a Rhino and 6 Berserkers, and I killed 4 Hellblasters. But when he shot all his Hellblasters, he was very aggressive with them, and 3 total burned up? 2 in this squad. He managed to shoot all 6 of these ones over here, and none of them burned up, even though he supercharged them, of course. And other than this very important charge he's about to do, that's turn 1. If he doesn't wipe the whole unit, and I don't wipe his aggressors back, I will have held more objectives for 1 point, and he would have gotten first strike and the kill point for the Rhino for 2 points. So we'll be 2-1 unless this combat is nuts and we just obliterate each other. And we will find out. We'll talk to you at the end of turn 2 and let you know what happened with this charge. Okay, so turn 2 was a little wild. This is what it looks like at the end of turn 2. A lot has changed. So, first up, litanies went off, but this time I did the -1 to hit litany onto the Lord Discordant. He then went from here all the way to here and killed the Hellblasters. The 10 or 8 remaining, first up, the Berserkers right here hit back and killed all 3 aggressors because they're Berserkers. They're amazing with World Eaters. They then came out and charged the Primaris captain and killed him as well. So over here, he lost the aggressors, the captain, and the Hellblasters. Over here, the Spartan moved up and killed some more models. Didn't do that well, but kind of stopped right here on the objective. And that was pretty much my turn. It was real quick. Jumped on some people, got some kill points, got 3 kill points. It was pretty good. But on Noah's turn 2, things got a little wild. He dropped here with Inceptors. He dropped right here with Inceptors, and he came off the board edge with 10 Reavers. The Reavers shot their bolt pistols and killed the 4 remaining Berserkers that were right here. They then failed their charge. These 3 dropped, put 3 wounds on him, and then succeeded with their charge but failed to kill him. I'm just kind of telling you each thing how it went instead of going by turn order. He shot all these units over here and cleared all the Berserkers that were over here. He took a few wounds, but he heals every turn, so he'll be fine. Over here, he shot the Spartan with his whole army, basically, got it down to 2 wounds, and then charged with everyone because his plan, as you can probably tell, was to wrap the front and both sides. So, when he killed the Spartan with his Power Fist on his Warlord, I could only get out the back. So I managed to squeeze out with a 10-pack, the Terminator Lord, and the Exalted Champion, but a full 10 Berserkers. That entire 10-pack died when the Spartan died. So it was a huge, huge blow. So looking forward, going into turn 3, he's holding on for dear life. Thankfully, he survived because it's going to allow him to do one last litany onto someone. He'll give a +1 to hit to something, or a -1 or give out the reroll misses bubble. That Dark Apostle's still alive. He will heal. I feel like he needs to run this way to come help. But there are 1, 2, 3 units of 5 intercessors just ripe for the plucking because he is very good at killing small packs of Primaris. And it's a kill points game. So we're probably going to stick around here and just clear all 3 of those because he's so fast. He'll catch him in 3 turns. But over here, things are going to get a little wild. So we are going to have an Exalted Champion giving everyone reroll wounds. We have a Demon Prince and a Chaos Lord and Terminator armor giving the reroll ones to hit. We're going to have a full 10-pack going into this. We're going to have a Terminator Lord going into this. A Demon Prince going into it. It's going to be the bloodiest turn 3 ever. And honestly, he overwatches on 5s. And for 2 CP, you can overwatch on 4s. It's pretty terrifying, but since he's MSU, he'd have to spend 2 CP just to do like overwatch with 4 or 5 models. So, not as scary. I actually think I'm going to clear all this except the Warlord. He's just too tough with the Iron Hands combos that are on him. The Terminator Lord may go into these guys, but they're T5, so it makes his Lightning Claws not quite as good. We will find out. Turn 3 coming up next. Thanks, guys. Okay. What an insane turn of events. Turn 3 was the bloodiest in history. Okay, so to sum it up, in Khorne's turn, in the World Eater's turn, this Dark Apostle ran to here. The Dark Apostle right here fought these guys and they saved every save. This used to be a huge mosh pit of models. I mean, there were so many models here just a minute ago. Basically, the Berserkers exploded into everyone, fighting twice with all their axes and a power fist. They were pretty nasty. He jumped in with his final 2 CP to kill like 4 Berserkers before I could attack for my second wave. So that made them not quite as good. My Terminator Lord with dual Lightning Claws did alright. The Exalted Champion did alright. The Cat Demon Prince, like my favorite model ever, he managed to kill a squad of 3 Inceptors. Tons of kill points, just everywhere. Then on Noah's turn, he moved up this board, grabbed that. The 10-pack of Reavers grabbed that one. These guys backed up and shot the Dark Apostle that was on that objective to death. These 3 shot 3 different characters that I had sitting here, mortally wounding like all of them, and then charged the last one and killed him. Then his Warlord, honestly like the best defensive Primaris character, non-named character we could possibly make. He had an extra toughness. He had 5-up feel no pain. The most insane dice rolls ever. He charged the Disco Lord. The Disco Lord did his Bale Flamer and miraculously killed him in Overwatch. I rolled a 6 on the hits, or on the amount of shots. I wounded with all of them. He then failed with all of them. And then had a 5-up with 2 damage each on all those wounds and failed most of those and died. It was insane. That netted me another kill point and slay the Warlord. So at the end of turn 3, the score is World Eaters 11, and Iron Hands 14. So it's about to be turn 4, and all World Eaters have left is my Warlord, a Dark Apostle with his Dark Disciples, and it's against all of this. What I tend to find, since this new Space Marine book came out, is you can kill Space Marines a lot, you do a lot of damage, it's a real close, awesome game, and then you look up and it's turn 4 and you're down to a couple units and they're in just every corner of the board. Just on every objective. So, being on all 4 objectives, there's a special rule in this game type where if you're on all 4, you score 3 more victory points. So that got him up 14-11. So going forward, this unit is 1 Primaris down to 1 wound. This one's 1 Primaris down to 1 wound, and he has 4 wounds. So I'm going to try to just charge in and net 3 kill points and get him off this objective. But then after that, there's really not much left. He'll probably jump out, try to go for this and charge those 3. But regardless of what he does, they're going to back out, and these 3 are still there. So he'll probably get gunned down in turn 4. So we'll just have to find out. Any Khorne or Chaos fans out there, wish me luck. Turn 4 coming up. Wow, what a good game. So I'm going to go ahead and recap it real quick. Basically, like what usually happens in 8th edition against a Primaris Space Marine army is you get towards the later stages of the game, and even if you've been doing really well, you start looking around and they have units just all over the board. He was in every corner. Even though his dead pile was gigantic, it's just Space Marines get so much for their points that it's really hard to beat them. So I decided to just do this in my wife's office because my phone's been being a little weird, so I'm recording with her computer. But basically, the final score was 20-16. Iron Hands with the win. I feel like I did pretty good. 16 points for World Eaters against Iron Hands. I mean, if you know much about the tournament scene in the last year, you know that Iron Hands are very powerful. One of the top tier armies. So I feel pretty good with World Eaters getting 16, 20-16 is pretty good. Basically, what happened the last couple turns, just to recap it, is he could not stop the Lord Discordant. It just bounced around, getting tons of kill points. The problem is he was then able to, because he went second every turn, every battle round, he was able to get on all 4 objectives. And in this mission, if you're on all 4, you get 3 victory points per turn. So as the last 2 turns, it actually went 6 turns. As the last 2 turns went, it basically was me killing as much as possible, but him scoring. So he ended up winning 20-16. Pretty tough one. I think we both learned a lot. I think we learned that we like Imperial Fist more than Iron Hands. I mean, he won, but he didn't roll that many 6-ups for the Feel No Pain. The 5-up Overwatch helped him for sure, but I don't think it helped him more than exploding 6s would have, and ignoring cover. So personally, I still think Imperial Fists are better than Iron Hands, at least with that type of list. Sure, if you ran a bunch of vehicles, Iron Hands are better. But so basically, what I learned about the World Eaters is Lord Discordants are amazing. Berserkers are amazing. Berserkers are so good, at least World Eater ones. I mean, it was so many attacks per model. They were unbelievable. So I'm definitely going to have them on the channel more. I've spent all day today painting Black Templars. So we'll get Templars on there soon, and hopefully we can have this awesome clash between Black Templar, Primaris, and World Eaters. It'll be awesome. I'm also converting up 2 more Lord Discordants, but I wanted to make sure none of them look alike. So we have our basic Lord Discordant, and then I have another one that's converted out of a Aegis Sigmar Chaos Lord, the one that's on foot with the spear and the sword, if you've ever seen him. I'm converting him to be riding the Venom Crawler model, the 40k Spider. I'm going to put it on the correct base size to be a Lord Discordant, and he'll basically just be a count as Lord Discordant. I just wanted him to look different than the other Disco Lord. And then the third one is the big centerpiece model of the whole collection. The third one is the new AOS Chaos Lord that's riding on this big dinosaur, basically. It's a giant lizard. I took him and I put him on a Helldrake. So he's riding this Helldrake with his axe held high, just looking amazing. Because as you know, Helldrakes are not great anymore, but they're on the Lord Discordant base size. It has a Bale Flamer. I give him these combos to where he can advance and charge with an additional +1 to movement and advance. So he's basically going like 30 inches, which is what a Helldrake does anyway. So in my opinion, it works perfectly. So yeah, I'll be running triple Lord Discordant with the World Eaters pretty soon, and that'll make them hit a lot harder. It'll make them
able to go against these top tier armies like Space Marines. So we'll be seeing them on the table pretty soon. Noah is at home working on a huge unit of Bulgarins for his Astra Militarum. I'm a little worried about that. I don't have much in my collection that can handle the craziness that Bulgarins can get. I mean, we're talking -1 to hit, 4 up invul, 1 up save. Like they're just unbelievable. So that'll be tricky for sure, especially when they're running full speed at you and he has a whole line of Lemon Russes and artillery tanks in the back. It's going to be hard to decide what to go after. But I'm pretty excited to start building some Chaos Soup lists with maybe triple Knight Titans, Chaos Knights with Lord Discordance, some kind of soup there. So yeah, all in all, sorry this was online like this, not both of us together and having to do this recap version. It's not the way we prefer it, but it's kind of fun. If you haven't tried online Warhammer, it's not bad. I mean, one person kind of has to do all the work while the other person sits and rolls dice and drinks beer. But as long as you're both in a good mood, the other one person doesn't mind doing all the legwork, moving both armies. It was a lot of fun. We'll definitely be doing it again, obviously because of the pandemic. We're going to try to stay apart, and so we're going to be doing more of these Skype hammer, Zoom hammer. So hopefully you guys like it. I am working on a brand new camera. I should have it here in a week or so, and that'll make it a lot better. It's way better quality with both video and audio, and Noah's getting a mic, so we'll be able to sound a lot better because we've had some comments about our audio. So we're working on it, guys. We're gonna get better audio, visual, and some more lighting. So stick with us. Hopefully this pandemic will clear up and we can have more people on the channel. Logan and maybe John, get some people on the channel with different armies. Logan's currently working on his Grey Knights army, and he also has a Minotaur Space Marine army, which sounds awesome. I don't know. I've never seen what their rules are or what their models look like. I know they're bronze, so that'll be awesome. Yeah, stick with us, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's been a pretty fun game. I'm excited to get World Eaters back on the table real soon. Like, subscribe, tell other people if they want to chill battle report. Come to Beer and Bat Reps. We roll dice and drink beer. So we'll be back, guys. Thank you. Later.